Today on Passionate Living, I want to welcome a very special guest, Dr. Francis Battisti, and he's going to be talking with us today about a really timely topic. Welcome to Passionate Living.
Good to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And could you share a little bit today about unhealthy coping patterns and how we might change those unhealthy coping mechanisms, and we might change those to more healthy approaches to dealing with stress, especially in the current environment. I know a lot of people, it's fine, you might have a drink after work, or maybe play a video game or watch a show just to chill out, but when it becomes a pattern, it becomes a problem, correct?
Right. You know, you begin with a very good point. We all have coping strategies. Sometimes people would come to me, I was a practicing psychotherapist for a number of years, and people would say, I need coping mechanisms. Well, everyone has coping mechanisms, but some of those are more functional, as you were mentioning, and some are more dysfunctional. But in regular times when we don't have a lot of stress, there's not a lot going on and things, we probably can get through some of those dysfunctional and probably navigate through the world. We might not be that happy, we might have a lot of conflict with people, but at least we can navigate. In times like this, during the pandemic, when a lot of people are cut off from others, people are angry, they listen to the television, it gets them really riled up, all kinds of things, and they feel restricted. Those dysfunctional coping strategies can really wreak havoc with us. And so it's important to really think about and to look at, how am I interacting with people? A lot of times we think that all the negativity comes from outward. Most of the time what we're doing is projecting our own sense, consciously or unconsciously, onto others. So if we're feeling uncomfortable, no matter what that is about, it's important to look at it and say, is there something I think I can do with this? And I often think, and I train people in the stages of change, where you go from, not thinking there's any problem at all the way to putting something in place and really making changes as much as possible.
Now, when does it become a problem? When would somebody notice? Like, what are the little signs that you might
I would say you get more and more negative feedback from people about your behaviors. You find yourself maybe in the car blowing off steam a lot earlier than you usually do. I think for many people, it's when they say to themselves, what's going on? I'm really different here. Digestively, they don't feel good. Physiologically, they feel tight. They feel tired. It's 5 o'clock at night. Maybe they just got out of work, or they were just getting ready to go to work, and they already feel exhausted, feeling exhausted all the time. Those are all kind of indicators that something is up, that maybe there's something that we need to look at. Feeling depressed, those kinds of things.
And of course, watching the news all the time, doing things that add to the stress levels of our lives really doesn't contribute to our health and well-being in the long run. And I know a lot of people who at nighttime, they've started to take their electronics out of their bedroom. They don't have their phone in their bedroom. They're using an alarm clock again, just to change the environment and to unplug. It's so important.
There's nothing better than waking up in the morning at your own rhythm. When you don't have to listen to the clock, you don't have the TV going on, just waking up when your body says you need to be woken up. And that would be I think for some people, that would be a new experience. But you're right. We're constantly bombarded with all kinds of things, especially the news. And some of the news is there to inform, but a lot of it nowadays is really to excite. It's to entertain. It's to get a certain reaction from people. So one of the things we often say to people is, you have to think about the things you limit. Alcohol, you limit alcohol. You limit the amount of input that you take in from the news. Even the television, maybe turning that off at an earlier time. You need to limit the negativity that you hear from other people. Because, a lot of times when we look at the positive things of life, or we talk to people about the positive things or the negative things, people think if you're talking about something positive, it's false. If you're talking about something negative, it's reality. In negativity, there's not much of an investment. it's usually projected out. When we're looking at something positive, you're making a statement that says,
Right.
I believe, my garden. I believe my relationship. I believe my loved ones are important to me. When you make that positive statement, then you're held accountable to that. In negativity,
Right.
there's not much accountability. So one of the things that I think is very important for people during, especially these difficult times, is they assess their strengths. What are the things that get them through life? Maybe it's their sense of humor. Maybe it's their ability to be objective. Maybe it's their ability to dance, and their artwork. And a lot of times, if you can't if you can't really come to mind what are some of the strengths, think about the things you loved as a child, and you'll find where probably a lot of your strengths are.
That's
And I
often
think
one of the things I'll tell people who, when I try to inspire people to live their passions, and they're like, I don't even know what I'm passionate about anymore.
Exactly.
And that one of the exercises I'll have them do is to go back to their childhood and think about the things that they like doing. And if they can't remember, ask their parents, ask their siblings, ask people who were around them at that time, what did I like to do? And kind of stimulate those aspects of yourself. And this is a wonderful time to do it during this
it is.
pandemic, when we're really find ourselves inside a lot more.
We look for things. I'm kind of the keeper in our family of pictures. So I have pictures from my parents, from my wife's family, all of them. And one of the things I just started to do is look through them and and I literally have about 8 boxes, big boxes, plastic containers of pictures. I know I'm going to get to sections where I won't know people. But one of the things I want to do is put them in some kind of order so that I can make better sense of them. But it's interesting, every time I go through them, I get through about 10 of them. And then ideas come about and I relive those situations. And it can be bittersweet at times. Those people that you're looking at, your loved ones, are no longer with you, but maybe they're with you spiritually. But there's also a lot of happiness with it. And I love pulling out the pictures of my children when they were younger and now showing it to their children. So
what a beautiful
there's a lot
exercise.
of things we can do.
Yeah. I want to thank you so much for being on Passionate Living today. You are such a light, and I too have been following your work. I am so appreciative to everything that you're doing for your community and now for this community who's watching Passionate Living. It's really amazing, and I'm truly grateful to know you and to have you as a guest today.
Oh, that's so very kind. Thank you. I really appreciate being here, watching your show and looking at the different segments. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thanks. And is there anything that you have coming up that we can look towards? Or we're going to put your website up here so people can find it and look at the work that you're doing.
One of the things I might mention, we have a blog we come out with every week. We call it The Zone. And that is and you'll probably have the website on the screen.
Yes,
it's paradoxhub.com. And we've been doing that. In fact, today we were writing our 31st volume. That comes up every week. It's free. There'll never be a charge for people. We send it around the country to about 125 locations, and a lot of companies are sending out to all their participants. Just, some ideas, a couple of things. One of the ideas that we talk about every week, and it's just some people are using it for their Monday morning or Tuesday morning meetings. So people can go to the website and get a hold of that, and please feel free to share it with as many people as you want.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.